Hey everybody, welcome to TIW Podcast. I'm Eric, and today I watched WWE NXT episode 543, which was broadcast on Wednesday, January 8th, 2020. I was there in person for this episode, and I plan on being at the rest of the NXT tapings or broadcasts for all of January. I'm really excited for that. Leading up to Royal Rumble and the aftermath of Worlds Collide after Royal Rumble weekend. So anyway, before I get to this episode, I also earlier in the day saw the film Little Women, which is directed by Greta Gerwig and stars Saoirse Ronan and Laura Dern. A bunch of other people. And surprisingly, I had no idea that Bob Odenkirk is in this. So when he showed up, that was kind of a surprise for me. But if you've seen the trailers or something, he might be in there. I don't know. But he's not very important. And Timothée Chalamet, I think is his name. That guy's in there. And it's just a bunch of great Florence Pugh, or however you pronounce her last name. But man, this type of thing normally isn't my kind of movie at all. But Saoirse Ronan is one of my favorite actors ever, and she's awesome. And so if she's in a movie, I'm pretty much guaranteed to like it. I have yet to see a film with her in it that I didn't like. It all started with Hana, which if you haven't seen that film, go see it. It's badass. I mean, she doesn't show like acting chops as much as like just movie star chops, I thought, in that film. But she's been in tons of stuff since then. Like everything I've seen. Anyway, I recommend going to see it. I don't think I've ever read this book, the book called Little Women. I don't think I've ever read that book. I don't think I've ever seen any of the other adaptations of it over the years. So I have no idea how it compares to all of that, but I thought this version was that this film, I don't even know if it's you could call it a version or whatever, but this film was really great. I especially liked the last like half hour or so, like when things like really pick up steam and there's like a big chase scene and there's explosions and all. There's none of that stuff, but all the. At first, I was kind of thrown off by the out of time. It's told. There's lots of flashbacks, and so it's told. It is told chronologically. There's it's not like backward storytelling or anything like that. It's not a Memento type of situation. The flashbacks are also in chronological order. So by the time I figured, like I got used to it, I was able to figure it out, but it did throw me off at first. And I think if I saw it again, that knowing some of the visual cues of what's flashback and what's not, I would be able to tell a lot more. And maybe earlier scenes would make a lot more sense for me, or I'd be able to track a lot better. But anyway, that's the only thing that was really an obstacle for me personally, which is not to say that it didn't like make it bad or anything at all. It just took even more focus than I would normally take to track what's going on with the story. But I highly recommend it. Go check it out. Little Women. It's in theaters. Anyway, all right. So let's get to the actual show. I'm just gonna try to remember what happened from the photos that I took, because I did not take notes. I had an extra ticket or an unused ticket this week, so I sent a message to a friend I made at a couple of shows back. His name is Shannon, and he is working. So shout out to him. He is working on a game called Spot Callers. It's a mobile game. It's a wrestling game, and from what he's told me about it, and some of the clips he's done, he streams on Twitch about it and all that. It's Spot Callers with a Z, I think it is. And he's on Instagram. He streams on Twitch when he's working on the game and stuff. It's really cool. So go check that out if you're interested in seeing the game come together, and if you want to keep an eye out for when it's finished and all of that. But anyway, so I sent him a message like, oh hey, I have an extra ticket if you want to come to NXT tonight. He was like, oh yeah, I'll be there in like a half an hour. So that worked out really well. It was cool catching up with him since I hadn't really talked to him since like November, I think. So super cool. And then also he did some animation and like the video concept for Leah Rush, his music video Lost, that he just posted last night. He posted after NXT. So go check that out as well on Leo Rush's all his social media. He'll have links to the music video. I'm sure it's on YouTube and all that too. So yeah, that was really, really, really cool. All right. So let's talk about the dark matches. First, we had Santana Garrett versus Indy Hartwell. So that was a fun match to open the night. Santana Garrett had a different look, different gear. Not so much the Wonder Woman gear. A little bit more. Not Wonder Woman. I don't know what if there's any like existing character or whatever that this gear is geared towards. But it was like black and pink and stuff. It was still had a little bit of Wonder Woman look to it, but it wasn't as direct. A little bit of an animal print type of thing. But anyway, that was cool seeing them fight. Santana won that match, and then we had Mansoor versus I don't know this other guy's name. And his entrance graphics like went off of the screen like before his name came up. But it's a guy who had long hair before, and he has a haircut now, and that's all I know about him. But Mansoor won, so that was exciting. So we opened the show with Rhea Ripley coming out and addressing the entire NXT universe and all of the women's locker room and all of that who's worthy of fighting her, being her next challenger. Toni Storm comes out. She says, I'm gonna win the UK championship back because I beat you for that championship at Blackpool last year. Tony beat Rhea, that is. So, well, this weekend I'm going to win that back, and then at Worlds Collide I'm going to take your championship here as well because I beat you before, and I'll do it again. But then not Io. Io doesn't come out yet. Kaylee Ray comes out. She has a problem with what Tony said because Kaylee Ray is the United Kingdom champion right now, and she's not gonna lose. And what was I gonna say? What? Oh, before that, Rhea accepted that challenge, but Io comes out. And then Bianca comes out and she's like, look, I'm way better than you. I'm way better than you. you don't even go here to Tony Storm. That was great. And I'm definitely better than you, Rhea Ripley. So things are heating up, and Candace comes out, and Rhea's like, "What? You want to fight too?" And Candace's like, "Oh yeah, but not with you." And Rhea attacks. Who did she attack first? I think she attacked Bianca, and so we end up with a 3-on-3 match. Lots of great stuff in here. Really fun seeing all of them in action. And I enjoyed it. Rhea Ripley won the match by hitting Riptide on Bianca Belair. So she was the one who seemed to have the most issue with Rhea. And afterwards, it was announced that we would have next week will be a battle royal to determine who will challenge Rhea Ripley for the championship next. So that should be really cool. So the people who will be in that battle royal are I'm here on Shotzi Blackheart's Instagram page because for some reason they didn't post this on the NXT page, the graphic from this, but and they didn't post it on Twitter either. So I think this is just a screenshot from the show. But anyway, Shotzi Blackheart, of course, I'll be rooting for her. Io Shirai and Dakota Kai. Those are my top three picks for this match. Xia Li, Vanessa Bourne, Kaden Carter. I think that's Chelsea Green. Santana Garrett, Mia Yim, Candice LeRae, and Bianca Belair. So that should be super cool. I'm excited for that. Okay, so up next, what happened next? We had 2 Dusty Classic matches, and let's see. The first one was Imperium. That's right. This happened right after this. Forgotten Sons versus Imperium. I need to go back and watch this match to see what they call, if they have an actual name for the finisher that I like a lot. Maybe it's not a finisher. Maybe it's just a signature move now because they kicked out of it. But man, this match is really good. This match was awesome. Like, I was excited for this match anyway, just because of Imperium, but I thought Forgotten Sons stepped it up for this match as well. And I would say this match is better than Gallus versus Undisputed Era, where arguably that should have been the match everyone was more excited for. And it probably was the match everybody was more excited for going into it. But anyway, because I know they're calling it the European Bomb, that the finisher that actually finished the match, where Eichner has him set up for a power bomb, and Bartel hits them with the European uppercut that goes into the power bomb, the European bomb. But I need to watch it back to see what the other thing, where he tosses him to Eichner and then he hits them with like a power slam, I think it is, or whatever that is. I don't know if it has a name yet, and they may have said the name. They may have been saying the name for a while now, but they didn't do this move on the match on TV last week on NXT UK. By the way, I forgot to play their music. There we go. That only took me like 5 takes to get that right. So last week, when I started playing this music for them, I had just figured it out from, like, not even from by ear. I was just trying to remember it and transcribe it from memory. So I was surprised by how close I was. I had it in the right key. I had a lot of the right. I had pretty much all the right intervals and all of that, except I had some different parts that I just made up that are not in the original, or are in different parts of the original. But as I just played it, is close to the actual those 2 phrases. But how I played it last week is on the second phrase I went up, which it doesn't do until the melody is with the string section in the third and fourth phrases. And then also the triplet part, I went down first, but instead it stays on the E and then goes up. So I had played it, but it stays on the E, da, 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 and goes up. So da, 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 da. So I thought it was more different in the first half of that phrase on the second time, but it is not. So I want to learn how to play the piano version of this song, like the full on thing. And so every week or every episode, because they're going to be on a lot of episodes. There's going to be NXT UK, I think, this week. But at the very least, Blackpool by Blackpool, I hope to have the chords going. So or however it goes. No, it goes or something. I don't know. But I have this sheet music, and it's probably it's different from that too in the sheet music. On musicscore.com, or no, it's not called that. Music Notes. I signed up for Music Notes Pro, so I'm going to start learning more and more music to add in to get better at piano and play more of the stuff. So anyway, Imperium moves on to round 2 of the Dusty Classic. Then we had Walking Wild versus Austin Theory, and Austin Theory won that match. And then we had Undisputed Era versus Gallus. Undisputed Era won mostly because Adam Cole and Roderick Strong were out there at ringside providing distractions and all that, dividing Gallus's attention, and so they got the upper hand on everybody. Then Johnny Gargano came out and said, I forget what he was. He was addressing Finn Balor, saying, like, you took me out of the first takeover in a long time, but when you bailed on NXT, I picked up the pieces and put us on a new map. After having complimented Finn for putting NXT on the map. So and then Finn Balor comes out, and I forget what he said. But there's not a physical encounter between the two. He just kind of laid down the law, said, well, I'm, you're in my sights, pointing the finger guns at him. But, then after that, Mia Yim fought Kaden Carter, and I think Mia got that win. She definitely got that win. But, let's see. As the match came to a conclusion, Mia Yim has her hand raised. Chelsea Green attacks, and we have Robert Stone, the brand. He's now representing Chelsea Green, and where's this gonna go? He cuts a quick promo, and I'm pretty excited for this. 2020, the year for the Robert Stone brand, and I'm pretty excited. There's a guy with a sign for Robert Stone brand right next to the entrance ramp, and so I thought it was a pretty good picture I got of him and Chelsea Green with the I'm a Robert Stone guy with the Robert Stone brand sign behind him. So that was pretty good. Actually, this picture I posted this one where his eyes kind of look like they're closed. I should have posted this other one where he had his hand out. Like, that one is a really good picture, I think. But anyway, up next we had the Fatal 4-Way match, which was freaking awesome. Like, okay, the best moment for sure. There's so much awesome. There's so much awesome stuff in this whole match. It was so good. So in this match, we had Dominic Dijakovic versus Cameron Grimes versus Keith Lee versus the other guy, Damian Priest, and oh man. Okay, so there's so much awesome stuff in this match, but I think my favorite part was when Keith Lee caught Damian Priest out of a soup. I think Dijakovic hit him with a suplex or something, like a release suplex, and Keith Lee was right there. And instead of getting hit with him, he catches him. This is a 6'5" over 240, 250. I don't know how much that guy weighs, but he's huge. And Keith Lee just catches him and uses him as a weapon, wipes out Cameron Grimes with him, knocks over Dijakovic, and then power bombs him onto Dijakovic. It was nuts. And then, of course, all of the high flying stuff that happened in this match was ridiculous. We had Dijakovic. No, it was Damian Priest. He teased doing his sort of like stalled somersaults to the outside sort of thing. That's a really cool move. I've been seeing some talk about everybody's like diving too much and all of that, but the way he does it is like so different from what anybody else does. It's really cool. But he teases doing it. He stops himself. He's like, ah, ha, ha. But then he does it when like 5 seconds later, when all three of the guys are all clumped together. I thought it was really good. But man, Keith Lee hits the Spirit Bomb. I think he hit it on Cameron Grimes, gets the win, and so this match was for to determine who would fight Roderick Strong for the North American Championship next, and so it will be Keith Lee versus Roderick Strong. When will that happen? I don't know. It could happen. It could happen before Worlds Collide, or that could be the match at Takeover Portland, which is just 2 weeks after Worlds Collide. So we'll see what happens with all that. But yeah, just that match alone absolutely made this trip for this show worth it. 100%. Go watch this match. If you've already watched this match, go watch it again. I'm probably going to go watch it again to see what the TV version looks like. So I'm really excited to see that match happen whenever it does. Roderick Strong is so screwed. Maybe he has his friends to help him cheat, and he could always just, do something to get disqualified, champion's advantage, and maybe that leads to, maybe that's what happens, that he does something to get disqualified, and then we end up with a no disqualifications match at Takeover, where Keith Lee gets a legitimate, a fair shot at it, because he can't just do the champion's advantage thing. And maybe Dijakovic helps counteract the Undisputed Era effect, or the Undisputed Era effect. Yeah, I think that phrase works. So, I'm excited for whatever happens with that. And then it was also announced that Kushida's partner for next week's continued first round of matches, and presumably if they win, is his old tag team partner Alex Shelley. The tag team known as Time Splitters, and that is all the information that I personally know about that. But everybody seems really excited for it, and anything having to do with time travel, I'm all for. So I need to look into some of their matches in the past and storylines and all of that to get even more excited for it. So yeah, it's cool to have a nice surprise like that. Although it wasn't the same as if he just came out with Kushida, and everybody's like minds were blown and all of that. So I think I it's all right. I think it's all right. They did it this way. Announced it 1 week ahead of time, because having that mystery partner, it was like a couple of weeks before the next live show is going to happen anyway. So having that a little bit of that conversation happening in the off season, quote unquote, was a good thing, I think. So yeah, that was this episode of NXT. I liked it very, very much. And also after the match, I think this happened off of television, but Keith Lee took Cameron Grimes' hat off of the post and put it on for a second. Yeah, it definitely was Cameron Grimes who he hit with the spirit bomb at the end. He tossed it to him. Grimes rolled out of the ring. He didn't get the hat to take with him, and so Keith Lee kicked the hat out to the floor. So that was all kind of fun. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to next week. Before then, I'll have 3 more episodes of wrestling stuff. Of course, we have SmackDown coming this Friday. NXT UK this week's episode, maybe if they have a new episode for the weekly show. I'll have to check with that. I should be able to know that right now, actually. Hold on. Okay, so it looks like instead of an episode of NXT UK, we have a special Prime Target takeover, and that makes a lot of sense. So this is like getting us amped up for all of the matches for that, kind of like what they used to do for regular NXT, that they would have the last episode before the takeover would be focused like kind of like a clip show mostly, which they don't do that now because it's live most of the time and all that. But yeah, I'm gonna check that out. So because of that, I'm not going to do an episode just about that. I will just do the episode about Takeover Blackpool. And then, of course, Monday Night Raw next week. I have an episode on that. But also, I got to get talking about all the new comics that I picked up today after I got back home. So stay tuned for all of that. The comics episode will probably be the what comes next. And so, yeah, let me know what you thought of this episode of NXT. What was your favorite moment? I'm guessing most people's favorite moment was probably the same as mine, with a whole using Damian Priest as a weapon section of that match. But who are you rooting for in the Women's Battle Royal that's happening next week? Like I said, I think my top pick is Shotzi. Get her that title shot right away. Maybe, I don't know. It could be fun, especially if it's going to happen before Takeover Portland. But maybe this is determining the opponent at Takeover Portland. I don't know. And it sounds like the titles will be on the line if Tony wins. I'm not sure how contractually binding that accepting that challenge is, because there's a lot of stipulations to it. Not stipulations, prerequisites for that match to happen. That Tony Storm has to win the UK Championship this weekend first, and then fight Rhea Ripley at Worlds Collide. So I don't know. But anyway, let me know what you thought about all of that by tweeting me at TIW Podcast. Go to TIWpodcast.com for more reviews. If you enjoyed this episode or anything else on the site, please share some links with your friends. Subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, wherever you like to listen. Stay safe out there in all the infinite multiverses, and I'll see you next time here on TIW Podcast. Bye.